Toledo, we're famous for glass, Art Tatum, Tony Pacos, Jamie Farr, a world-class museum, the Toledo Mud Hens and Wildlife, an outstanding zoo and public library system. But who are the people that make our city so great? Welcome to the Soul of the Glass City podcast. I'm your host, Monique. I am so excited to have my next guest, who I call the queen of the self-love movement, in the studio, Mrs. Arlinda Self. Woo!
Hello, everyone.
How are you today, Arlinda?
I am doing amazing. I can't complain. I have a lot going on, but I'm okay today.
Yeah,
How are you?
Yeah, same. A lot going on. It's that mommy life.
Oh, mommy life,
So, were you born and raised in Toledo?
I was born in Toledo. And I was here for a while until about 9th grade. Okay. And then I left and came back in 2011.
So from, birth to 9th grade, where did you go?
Well, I attended Mount Vernon Elementary, and then I attended Springfield Middle School and high school, or high school only for a month.
Okay. What part of Toledo were you raised in?
Holland.
It
was more like Holland.
Yeah.
But
okay.
close to Toledo.
Yeah. Okay. What are your fondest memories growing up here in our great city?
Oh, well, like I said, I attended Mount Vernon Elementary, which I absolutely loved. And in our neighborhood where we lived close to there at one point, we were the house to be at, right? So the neighborhood had all the kids, all the families got together. You always, saw each other out. So I love the fact that it just takes me back to neighborhood and feeling good and supporting each other. And so it just made me feel, I always think about that when I thought about moving back here.
The house to be. Tell me, what was your parents buying, and what did you have in the fridge that made everybody like, this is where we got to be at?
Well, I think because we were the neighborhood, the house that had the pool. Mm-hmm. And my parents were a bit younger,
okay.
So they were a little more hip.
Okay.
But all the other parents, we had a parent that lived there that worked at the chip factory, so he always gave out all the chips to all the kids.
Okay.
So I felt like that neighborhood, really makes you feel at home. And then all the parents knew you,
Okay.
You know all the
you
kids.
You can't get away with crap.
You're not getting away. So it made us feel very homey and safe.
Okay, that's great. So we all know that, those that do know, because we all don't know, but you are a family woman, you are a wife and mother, but you're also a serial entrepreneur. So tell us some of your inspirations, the businesses you had or the ones you currently have, and how has your career changed? Where are you now?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
Super loaded.
A serial entrepreneur. I love it.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna start using that.
Okay.
I've been a busy lady. I am married to my husband, Lance Self. He's the people's salesman at Taylor Hyundai, in Toledo. Mm-hmm. We have 3 kids. One's 13. One's 12 and one's 11.
Okay.
Just saying those ages. I promise all of you understand how my house is going.
Yeah, totally.
So, like I said, my husband's been in a community for a long time. And when him and I met, I had just moved back here. And now I own a total of 3 businesses. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping to do more. And I absolutely, yes, I am. I'm hoping to do more.
Well, it's so funny. I love this part of our history. When I first met you, please tell everybody what you and your mom were doing and how you were supposed to be on this show and how all that played out, because that was just like a fun time, I think.
Are you talking about when we were making jeans?
Yes. They had a jean shop in the mall.
Which is, hence, I'll bring this out. That's the 4th one that's coming.
Okay.
We were making custom jeans for women and men.
Okay.
At the mall. And it was going amazing, but, it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I know we were supposed to be
on Shark Tank.
On Shark Tank.
What happened?
So we went there. We went there and we auditioned and everything was going great. And so they wanted like almost half of the business.
Oh.
And we're like, yeah, that's not
Did it air on the TV?
It's not going to work. No, it
okay.
did not air.
Okay. So, look, you're getting insider information, guys.
We were like, yeah, that's not going to work out. Even though, what's crazy is we probably should have did it anyway.
Maybe.
Just because we ended up closing.
Maybe.
But now we are going to actually open that back up here pretty soon. So you'll be hearing about that again.
Okay. So you have been promoting self-love and wellness through yoga and meditation. You actually have a yoga studio. How does that help you as a mother and wife, get through the day-to-day?
Let me tell you, it teaches patience. again, I got a 13, 12-year-old, and 11, and a husband with 3 businesses. So I think that having, being able to teach yoga and meditation, Zumba, fitness, teaching people how to calm their nerves, how to really enjoy the time that we have, because time is the one thing we cannot get back. You literally cannot go back. Yeah. So I think with all of the running around, everything we got going on, learning these teenagers that I have, it really taught me how to slow down. It's okay to live your life. It's okay to do things and enjoy it, but you have to make sure you slow down to really grasp it. I have a 13-year-old who, she's the one who got me really into doing yoga.
How?
We were at home, and I always had to stretch. As many people know, I was a dance major, and I danced back up and for Alvin Ailey for years.
Wow.
And I had...
Can we pause on that? Can we talk about how that transpired, please, real quick?
Man,
and then go back to the daughter.
I was in college my freshman year, and Alvin Ailey came to my college at Mary Grove, and they were doing auditions. And I ended up getting picked and getting a scholarship to move to New York and go to school there. So I was there for 4 years, and then I ended up traveling as doing backup dancing for a major artist.
Wow. Are we allowed to say the artist?
Yes, we can.
Okay, go ahead. Who was that?
At the time, his name is still Akon.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. You talking about top tier artists. Like, wait.
It was so much fun.
And I've known you for like 20 years and did not know that she was dancing back up for Akon. Like,
you know what?
The secrets of Arlinda.
A lot of people don't know it,
That is why you are on this podcast right now, so we can learn the layers of
layers.
You. Okay.
Oh yeah, my mom sent me out to the world and said, "Go for it, fly."
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
And when I decided to come, that was right after, right before I came back to Toledo in 2011.
Okay.
I had to come back here because, like I said, my daughter, I wanted to raise her somewhere it would she would get the same feeling I had growing up.
So now let's go back to the daughter and how she got you into yoga.
So her and I, we talk a lot. I grew up in a talking family. Like my parents, we sat down and we had, conversations. And my mom would allow us to really get those things out. Like, what is it that's bothering you, you know, as a kid?
Yeah.
So her and I do that a lot. But with her, she said, well, hey, I know you like to stretch a lot. How about, can you stretch me out? So we would find ourselves stretching and learning yoga together and talking. And she finally told me, well, Mom, I think other moms and other girls would like this too.
Wow.
And so I said, you know what? I'm going to dive into it. I'm going to go hard in it. And it's here now.
And now I think she should be co-owner of the business because, okay, maybe later.
It's going to be handed down to her.
Maybe
really
later.
Will.
Yeah. We got to get her a little more groomed first into the business world. All right.
But she will definitely, I have 3 businesses right now, and I have 3 kids. My number one thing is to make sure each one of them have one.
Oh, well, speaking of that, for those that don't know, I don't know if your mom or dad wants a shout out, but her mom and dad are like also super entrepreneurs, and they're from Toledo as well, right?
They are from Toledo, homegrown, raised here, everything.
So can you mention the thing that they went viral for doing, and even though they sold this thing, this is what they went viral for? Because this is huge. Like,
yes.
And they're Toledo raised people.
Yes.
So go ahead.
They were the first African-American couple, African-Americans, period, to own an RV resort. So they bought an RV resort down in Talladega, Alabama, and they partnered with NASCAR to get, and it was amazing. And then they decided to sell it for,
Let's just say who. Okay. All right.
I just throw who.
Right.
And they decided to come here and help invest
in
back
Toledo.
in Toledo.
Woo!
Yes. So shout out to my parents, Nate and Alicia Lawson, because let me tell you something. Without them, I wouldn't know half this business stuff that I know, and I hope I can pass this same knowledge and information and everything I know down to my kids.
Yes. And this is like rooted in Glass City energy here. So people that when they say you'll do better in Toledo. That's a perfect example.
Toledo is probably it's such a hidden gem, and it needs to be blown up and shown around the world because we have so many people who support each other here. We have so many small businesses that are, if we all gather together, oh my goodness, the way we can blossom. We're already blossoming. Let's start there.
Yes. So. Yeah, so I want to go back to this dance stuff because, exciting. Dance. Now you've also been trained classically, right, in dance. And I've seen you do your thing on stage various times, whether it be praise dancing, modern dancing, hip hop, jazz. Tell us how your love of dance and the cool story of how it brought you and your husband together.
Oh, I love this story. You're going to make me cry. I have always been trained. Like I said, I was at Alvin Ailey for years. My husband had saw me dancing online forever. And once I just... Facebook. Actually, yeah, on Facebook.
Right. They say you can't meet online, but look at that. Love connection.
And to find out later, he had stalked me for about 2 years, watching all my videos, commenting, those kind of things. And when he saw that I was moving back to Toledo, he inboxed and said, hey, I absolutely love the way you dance. I would love to take you dancing. And that's where we went out to a place to eat. And then him and I went dancing, and he showed me his ballroom skills. And I was like, okay, so if a man can dance.
We're going to keep it like that.
Okay. We're going to stay together. I was like, we're going to be together. We're going to stay together. And it was probably one of the best dates and moments I've ever had. And that's why we're together to this day.
So, you know what's funny? If you've ever seen them ballroom, it's like watching, I don't know, some type of magical, you know what I mean? Like,
Thank you.
It's unreal. Like, you guys are so in sync. It's actually fun
to
watch you dance. And I think you guys have taught people. And I said, I've never, the way they will embarrass you on the dance floor, I would not even want to learn in your presence, because
we forget the one part I love is that when I get on stage, I turn into a whole nother person, and I forget there's an audience.
You do your Sasha Fierce.
Basically.
Yes.
So when my husband and I had our first, when we danced together, I think we forget there's other people.
Yeah. And then speaking of you and your husband, you were recently spotted in a few commercials with your spouse. And how did they come about? Do you see yourself doing more acting in the future?
Yeah, I like acting. I would love to get into acting at one point, but we get a lot of offers for some reason for my husband and I to be on TV or something like in a commercial.
You just look like the perfect family. That's why.
We try to be. But trust me, we are nowhere near perfect.
Right.
Nowhere.
Gotcha.
But when they came to us and said we would love to do, we need a couple like yours that's in a community that is, that's been together. We've been together now 13 years.
Okay.
13 years, married for 6. It was such a blast, though. It was so amazing. They wanted local people. I love the fact that anyone from Toledo, we want to make sure we stick with Toledo. We want to make sure everyone supports each other. So I want to say, even though I can't say their name, but shout out to them for really caring enough to stay right here in local.
Yeah. So now that we have just went around the world and back, where do you see our city going in the next couple of years, from your perspective?
Ooh, our city got things going on. We have young entrepreneurs that are coming in and, buying up buildings and making them into, nice lounges. And like I have an office, I have office leasing available. I think with Metro Parks coming up with all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
I think that we're we're already on the map. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah.
It's what we do.
Yeah.
419 is always on the grind.
Yes.
So I can see many people making this a come and visit city versus I'm kind of driving by. No, this is a come visit.
Come visit us.
Come visit Toledo and come explore it.
Because I had a friend just text me like, I just came from Cedar Point and I just happened to drive through Toledo. I'm like, why don't you stop?
We got to make sure we do more like we're doing right now. You know, people like you that have this, have podcasts that say, hey, let's get you out there and showcase what we have. We have all this going on. I have an RV resort coming.
Yes.
Come on now.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
We want to make sure it makes it like we are. We're a safe place. We're a fun place, and we're exciting. So.
And we love having guests.
Yes.
Well, thank you, dear, for coming through and giving us all of, you and just everything that makes you love our city so much. And hopefully, they will come and stay a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Downtown got a lot going on. They're going to come.
Right. Well, until next time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. I'm your host and producer, Monique. My executive producer is Chris Pfeiffer. Join me next time for another exciting episode of Soul of the Glass City podcast. For more information, if you have questions or comments, go to wgte.org/soul.
WGTE. Voices around us. WGTE is supported in part by the American Rescue Plan Act funds allocated by the City of Toledo and the Lucas County Commissioners and administered by the Arts Commission.